welcome in to CHGO Bears After Dark. I've been looking forward to this show all day. We got a lot to cover with the incredible Carmen Vitali, who is very upset at Uber Eats right now, but yet moving forward all at the same time.
I'm working through it.
I know.
The show must go on.
The show must go on.
Show must go on.
The chicken was not in the salad. We are playing at a deficit tonight.
It was a chicken bowl missing chicken.
Chicken bowl minus the chicken. That's not good. That's not good, team.
I don't understand. I do understand. Postmates and Uber Eats have given me issues.
There is no crying in Bears After Dark. Actually, there is. You can have tears. And we've got the legend sitting in tonight from CHGO White Sox show, now CHGO Bears. The Chicago legend, Herb Lawrence. Welcome, brother.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. It's really appreciated to be on this show again. I was on like 3 weeks ago with Greg Braggs, and I'm very happy to be here because the Bears, truth be told, are my favorite team.
CP
City.
Well, and you're geared up and you look great, and being on with Braggs is cool. But I mean, this is the real Bears After Dark.
Exactly.
I mean, let's just name what's true here. This is where the real Bears. All Bears After Darks are all great shows, but I think a little healthy competition inside the old CHGO. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
So I walked in today. Carmen and I we were both out at practice, which was awesome.
Sure.
I'm sitting there in the press conference today, and all of a sudden I just hear your voice come out. I didn't see you when I walked in the room. I had gotten there basically right at game time.
So did I.
And we hadn't, and then I just heard you and I got so excited.
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't know that you were in there either until I was looking around the room, and then I saw that you were along the wall because you asked a question before I did, and so I was like, "Oh, Carm's here."
I mean, I thought I had one of my all-time great questions today.
It was short, succinct, and to the point, but you got the answer you wanted.
I asked Alan Williams, who I love, Bears defensive coordinator, who I think is getting unfair heat from this city. I asked him, did anybody stand out for you as far as taking a step forward last week? And he said Jack Sandborn, and people jumped on it. There was a herd around Jack Sandborn in the locker room today. Everybody wanted to talk to Jack Sandborn, which I think was I didn't know if he would go there. I thought maybe he would say that. I thought there were a bunch, but we obviously have to go a lot further, something along those lines. But he named Sandborn, so.
He did.
That was a nice compliment for the Badger.
And then the entire locker room was very. I feel like they were giddy to see that Sandborn had a huge scrum around his locker.
Herb, do you have any Sandborn excitement?
I have a lot of Sandborn excitement.
Do you really?
Yeah, because in the preseason, he was flashing everywhere. He was everywhere you needed to be. Undersized, a guy from Wisconsin, local product too, right? From the northern suburbs.
Sure is.
I'm excited to see him get a little bit more run with Roquan Smith being traded to Baltimore, because I know one thing, he's going to get effort. He might not be, prototypical linebacker in the NFL, but I guarantee the effort will not be waning for him at all, and then he might make himself into a nice NFL player at the linebacker position, because all you need right there is just heart and toughness, and I know he's got the smarts.
Mm-hmm. He sure does.
Lake Zurich High School,
yep.
Wisconsin Badger.
It hurts. Lake Zurich keeps on beating my Wheaton North Falcons in the playoffs. They just beat them this past week. Probably beat him in a playoff game a couple of years ago. So, yeah, he's a player. There's nothing, no doubt about that. I think he'll be one of the favorites after this year's over.
Quick aside about high school football, though. My York High School Dukes are still undefeated right now. They're ranked number 2 in the state. We have never had a really good football program.
No.
I actually and weirdly enough, I went to their game against Glenbard West where they upset Glenbard West. They were ranked 7th, I think. Or maybe Glenbard West was ranked 4th, something like that. But anyway, ranked very high. They upset them. It was a fantastic game. I hadn't been to a high school football game in a very long time. Did not realize how advanced these kids are getting. Like, I'm watching guards pull in a wide zone scheme, from their offensive line, and I'm like, oh, good God, thank you. So it was.
You really are something. Just know that watching high school football and getting geeked up that guards are pulling I didn't know
that high school
Steven,
guards knew how to pull.
That's another level, right? I mean, Herb, come on.
When I was in school, we just ran a play called 33 lead. So through the 3 hole all the time. And, yeah, guards rarely pulled at all. But yeah, the offenses nowadays are so advanced.
Wild.
And York, like you were saying, I knew them as when I went to school. I graduated in '96. They were a cross country giant.
Oh yeah,
and never
same
played
when I was there.
My guy Brendan McCaffrey, who used to work with me at the Score, went to York, and he's like, "Yeah, we sucked. We were terrible the whole time."
My last 2 years in high school, we went to the playoffs, which was like the first time in probably in like decades or something like that. So now to see that York is still undefeated, they're going into the quarterfinals, I believe. Very, very excited. So as a shout out to local Illinois high school football.
What's up?
Go Dukes.
And for the record, I love this show that can just go
Off the rails.
different ways. And I did not have the York Dukes, right?
Right.
Yeah. So last year I did some play-by-play for Sports Broadcast Solutions. Shout out Kyle Smith. What's up, Kyle? I did play-by-play for the Dukes versus Elmhurst. That was the thing. I was in there.
Did you?
Yes, and I had a great meatball sandwich at some place in Elmhurst.
Oh, we did talk about that.
Yes.
Fits a spare keys.
No, that place is closed. It's closed.
I can pull
but
it up.
regular Fitz is still open.
Okay.
I mean, it's worth everybody's patience here for me to pull it up for 1 second.
Well,
if I can find
Elmhurst is a great town, and York was a great school to go to. I was like the first to go through the new building when I was a freshman, and I was a POM. So I was on the field. It was because I could get on the football field that way.
Roberto's.
I couldn't get on the field. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Roberto's. Roberto's has the best pizza in town other than Mama Maria's. Yeah. But anyway, anybody from Elmhurst watching from Elmhurst, you're welcome for that entire thing.
Go Elmhurst. All right, so we'll get back to the Hearst in a second here, and we'll get back to some things that happened at practice today later. I've got a video piece that we're going to play from Cole Kmet, who was always entertaining.
Also another
today.
local kid.
But I walked in today since first time doing a show with Herb. What's on your Bears' mind? And you went right to Velus Jones.
Yeah, it's because this year I see as a rebuilding year, as a retooling year. They drafted the guy, Velus Jones, in the 3rd round, and I know he's a little long in the tooth for a rookie. He's 25 years old, and he made some mistakes. He fumbled a couple kickoffs and punt returns. Cool. Him being like a healthy scratch this past Sunday kind of puzzled me. I understand that they're doing a meritocracy where better players get to play, but he is a rookie. The guy who just came in, the general manager, Ryan Post, just came in and drafted him in the 3rd round. So I think that guy has to play through the injuries or through the mistakes, because this year is a development year, and you're not going to be having Velus Jones on the bench healthy. Now this week they might get back Byron Pringle, and if he comes back, you can see another Velus Jones healthy scratch where he's just sitting on the sidelines not playing, and that's, I think, is a mistake for me, because if you draft him in the 3rd round, he should be playing. He should be playing a lot and getting the mistakes out this year. I get it, Gary. He can catch, but how you gonna learn to catch unless you're playing in those games?
Well, now hold on, Gary. To back up my guy.
Got 3 catches.
He's got 3 catches. Now I think
One
2
was
of
a
them.
jet sweep.
Yeah, right. 2 of them are basically a handoff.
toss.
So to Gary's point, there is a fair thing that he maybe perhaps can't catch Carmi.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though. When you brought in Chase Claypool, who also still needs to get used to this offense, you added from the top down. So that's just pushing guys down the depth chart even more. Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, I feel like you want your best guys to be getting the rapport with Justin Fields now. I think that kind of supersedes any individual 3rd round rookie player development priority, essentially. I think the priority is to get Justin Fields comfortable, and to get Justin Fields comfortable, you need your best receivers on the field to see what he can do with them. That's at least my take. But I really appreciated that they added from the top down. So you're pushing guys kind of like a little bit more down the depth chart, and especially if Byron Pringle comes back, now you've got some guys that actually have experience too.
CHGO Bears After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. You get $5 bet, $200 in free bets. Let's go. Thank you to our friends at DraftKings. Listen, I think Herb's making a fair point here, Carmi, and you, Gary, and to everybody else out there. You cannot tell me that the future of you are not at least more interested in what the future of Velus Jones would be as compared to, say, I don't know. You just mentioned Byron Pringle. Like, I'd way rather see Velus Jones on the field than Byron Pringle.
Mm-hmm.
I would. Yeah. I don't want to. Listen, I like Dante Pettis, but I think and he's done a nice job, and he stepped in, and right now he's a better punt returner. But long term, upside, higher ceiling, I think you gotta hope that it's Velus.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that you're still getting Justin Fields comfortable. He is priority numero uno. So you want to surround him with the best guys. Like you can't. I don't want to develop all of these guys. Send him on the field with developmental guys. Like you don't know what he can do.
Fair point. But that doesn't mean that he couldn't be out there to. Dude, listen to me. You are going to hang out at Hallis Hall at 8 a.m. and you're going to leave at 8 o'clock at night. We're going to get some lights out here, and you're going to catch 8,000 punts until you get comfortable. That's what's going on here. I mean, listen, I made 4 errors playing freshman B baseball, and I also made all 3 putouts in that inning. But you know what? And then I just, I couldn't handle it, and my baseball career ended. Although I like to say that my softball, when I was in my prime was outstanding. And I did play I've had some great adult baseball back in my Austin, Texas days. My point is this, though. I ran away. The Bears are kind of running away from Velus. We don't need to run away. We don't need to run away. You are going to just sit there, and you are going to catch punts until you're comfortable. And we're working you back to bring you back in X game. It doesn't have to be this week versus Detroit. It doesn't have to even be against the Jets or the Falcons. But it's somebody, hey, just letting you know, December the 4th, Green Bay Packers, whatever the date is, you're going to be out there, bud. We are not giving up on you, sending him that message. Anybody?
Maybe Melbourne has a good point where Matt Eberflus has a plan for Velus, and sitting him on the bench last Sunday was a message, and he knows that Velus would be reacting to that. I think he got to speak to the media and saying, it gave him confidence. It made him hungrier that he got sat down this past Sunday. But also, like you said, Carmen said, you're going to have Claypool, maybe Pringle, Equimania St. Brown, and Dante Pettis, and other players, and then where's Velus going to be at? I just need a 3rd-round pick to be on the field. And I know that Justin Fields needs to be comfortable. I think that dynamic speed that Velus Jones brings to the table, he can be doing those jet sweeps. He can be doing some different things in this offense to give him confidence. And then when you feel confident a little bit more, or he feels a little bit more confident, he can go back there to the kick and punt returns because his confidence is lifted up a little bit more, and he can say, okay, I can do this. I can play in the NFL. Sitting him down, I think, just drops that confidence down. It's like, man, I'm already an old rookie. I'm already a 3rd-round pick, so I got to struggle to get on this roster anyways. And now I'm a healthy scratch for players who are, and ultimately, Dante Pettis is not a top NFL wide receiver, and they're sitting you down for that guy. Neither is Equimania St. Brown. They're sitting you down for that guy. These guys are just veterans who are getting tick over you, and that seems to me in a rebuilding year wrong. Just because that guy you need to know if he can play or not. If he can't, ship him off. It's a 3rd-round pick. DFA him next year. But by not playing him, you'll never know if he's going to be the player that you envision or Ryan Poles envisioned him to be.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I just don't know if what they're envisioning for him requires that. I feel like he was brought in to be kind of a gadget and to use his speed and to stretch the field a little bit more. I feel like he wasn't brought in to be a workhorse.
No.
And so I feel like you can still do that, especially this year when it's a relatively low pressure year. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking a few snaps and the healthy scratch thing, I get, you want him to at least be up to be, in on a couple of plays. And I think they will do that. I don't think that the benching was necessarily permanent in that regard. But you do need to get his confidence. He needs to, have something to do with special teams.
Velus
having an impact on special teams is a way to stick on this roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, Trustin Ebner, Velus Jones, who do you want to see active?
Velus.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now that you have Justin Fields is essentially a 3rd running back, so you have security there. Yeah. I should say. Although I like Trustin Ebner too.
I don't dislike. Listen, they have a very.
I like
you want to call it deep lot of marginal to slightly interesting talent. I mean,
would you call Tristan Ebner marginal talent?
I mean, he's what would you call him?
I mean, like, I don't know. He's a really good pass catching back. I just I feel like you can. I don't know.
I'm not saying that he doesn't belong on an NFL roster. I don't think. Okay. I mean, I don't think anybody's pegging Tristan Ebner to be a star.
No, but he's solid wide receiver depth for a team that's a run first team or running back depth.
He's a fine third running back, but again, if I found out this week that Ebner was inactive and Velus was in there, I'd be like, oh sweet, they're gonna try him out a running back. Let's see what we got here.
And you still got Blasingame to be the fullback there, so you could be fine.
I like that he's an honorary captain. Blasingame is he's enjoyable.
Make fullbacks great again.
Now, Velus lockers next to Fields, at least at Hallis Hall. I'm not sure what they do at Soldier Field because I don't go to those games. And they
I don't understand. The locker rooms that I've been in, the Bears locker room, I don't understand it. The way that the position groups are set up, because every other locker room I've been in, like, it's by position group, and these guys are all over the place.
But the old linemen are all together.
No, they're not. There's like the tackles are on one side. No, there's like a couple tackles, a guard, a couple tackles, a center. On the other side are some guards. Then you've got like Justin, you've got some wide receivers, and then in the corner you have DeAndre Houston Carson, like a random safety. Like, nothing makes sense in the Bears locker room. I don't know where to look. Like, you don't even know what side's offense, what side's defense.
All right, that's a whole different story.
The whole thing. I'm sorry, I
don't have.
It's been annoying me all season.
Okay,
and I took my moment.
No, that's great. Send your complaints to Upper Bears management. George McCaskey should fix this. Really,
it's a Mark Trestman thing. I'm sorry I mentioned him on the Bears thing.
It could be.
Mark Trestman was like, hey, offense, defense in the locker room, so you guys could get to meet each other,
right?
Type of thing. It's like it said, it's haphazard. And most of the locker rooms I've been in, and only one I've been in is the Bears locker room. It is like position group, usually position group, and they all stand by, especially the linemen. They're all in the same area,
right.
And the D linemen were back in the day. I was Ted Washington days, so that's how old I was.
There we go.
And he was a mean sumbitch. Oh, golly, there was nobody meaner in that Bears.
In the Bears locker room. All the guys are really nice.
I mean, right now, Bears locker room is like straight. I mean, they're just adorable. These guys are they're quality. And so Velus and Fields were having a conversation today. And Bears personnel was being asked trivia question. I don't know if trivia is the right word, but your opinion. More popular, dynamic, historical, musical figure. Elvis, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, it's over. I already hit the button.
Yeah.
Literally dated his daughter, or married to his daughter too. So he even overtook that.
Well, that's perhaps a trump card.
Which one did they say?
So now, who do you think had MJ? And
I think Justin Fields had MJ, and Velus Jones, since he was a Tennessee guy, had Elvis.
Herb's on the money, right? So you got the Tennessee guy who's trying to rep Elvis.
They both. Well, no, I don't really have an answer to that necessarily, because I just think that they both revolutionized music in a certain way. But it was also like, those are not the two that I would have thought that Bears players would have been deciding between, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
especially those kind of young players.
They're so young, right? Yeah. I'm like, but like, it makes sense. Obviously, Velus, being in Tennessee, and I'm sure Elvis is still like omnipresent down there, and Michael Jackson revolutionized music for even the music we listen to today. But. Yeah. It gave me a little bit of hope, because I feel like all these Gen Zers just don't know any of like this good music.
Who'd you think they were gonna bring up? Like Drake?
I don't know.
Drake and Lil Wayne.
Yeah, like who modern day? Like, I don't know.
My friend Tony Gill, I think you know Tony Gill.
Sure, of course.
He says that Migos, and rest in peace to Takeoff, are the modern day Beatles. And I said to him,
wait, what?
The Beatles are the Beatles.
Yeah.
I am old. And I don't know who Migos are in particular, but stop that blasphemy. That is, like, the Beatles are up there, and Migos is here. It's a good level.
Yeah,
it's a good level, but the Beatles are the Beatles.
So that's why that's where I was kind of just debating the argument in the moment. In my mind, I'm like, Elvis was a long time ago, and we're still talking about Elvis. Mm-hmm. So you got to give Elvis.
Again, both of those, him and Michael Jackson, revolutionized music.
Wasn't there just a movie about
And
There
Elvis?
was. There was a new
is all
Elvis
over-
movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see it though.
He's all over my HBO. I haven't watched it yet. Anybody in the chat who's seen Elvis, feel free to say yes or no on whether that is worth 2 hours of time.
I would have been closer with people, I think, in my generation if you would have said Michael Jackson versus Prince.
Yeah, that would have.
To me, because people think Prince, and rightfully so, is a better musician and a better artist than Michael Jackson ever was.
Without a doubt. But I don't even, I mean, you got to give.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Would Prince have been Prince if it wasn't for Michael Jackson?
Now we're in a.
I know.
We're down there.
I know we can go down a rabbit
people are
hole.
gonna be arguing
This is Bears
in
After
the
Dark.
comments.
It's not. I was saying this is Bears After Dark. Music After Dark.
I mean, music after dark, Bears after dark. We're good. I don't know if we resolved everything on Velus, but I get where you're coming from. Like, hey, listen, development year. This guy's got talent. I want to see him play. It sucks when he's not playing. I think we can all agree on that.
That's the other thing too, though, is coaches just aren't wired like that. Because I had that same discussion about Justin Fields, though, where I was like, in the beginning of the season when they weren't even calling passing plays. I'm like, I don't care if he throws an interception. I don't care what he does. But like coaches are just not wired that way. Like we're going to try to win the game. They're going to try to put their best players out on the field at all times, always.
Yeah.
And so it's fighting a losing battle in that case. But I fought it for Justin. And they figured it out. So they'll figure it out with Bayless.
And Jay Sanders, I see your comment. Elvis revolutionized being white, imitating black art forms.
That's fair.
That is a fair comment. Herb, I think you want to weigh in on that one.
Not really. I already got enough people on my back about stuff like that.
All right. I don't want to overstep my bounds on that one, but hey, what Elvis was doing was being done long before Elvis started doing it, and then here comes the man with the flashy Elvis look, and at that time. But we seem to be going back to that time at times lately. He got a lot of love for it. So I think that's worth naming. Thank you, Jay Sanders. All right. Let me move on to Luke Getsy spoke today and just where the Bears offense is at. And there's this, has Fields gotten that much better? Has Getsy actually figured his offense out better? Like, who is responsible for the 3 weeks, even more than that, of just the uptick that we've seen? And Getsy's pushed back multiple times that, like, we haven't really changed that much. That's not really what's going on here. Justin's getting better. He had one comment today. Justin, I want to pull it up exactly because I want to get it wrong, because it was interesting how he worded it. Justin's getting better. He's understand. Hold on. Let me do it right here. I think what you're seeing is someone who is more comfortable calling a play, more comfortable in understanding what the play means, so you're able to do more things. And that's not just him. That's everybody in the group.
Yeah.
So he's throwing a ton of flowers at Fields, but also kind of like underlining that, hey, this was part of the entire plan. Like, I don't like, they didn't have some, yes, they changed after the Patriots game and opened things up, I guess, a little bit more running the game, running the ball, letting him loose. But also at the same time, I think he's kind of pushing back that there's this whole new transformation that's happened. Like, this was, I guess, the plan from the start. I don't know who you all think deserves the most credit is where I'm trying to get to. Is Fields just all of a sudden figured it out and gotten better, or do we giving the credit to the OC equally? How do we break this down?
I'm giving it more to Justin Fields, as you said, and then Luke has said himself. He hasn't really changed the offense that much. But I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Last Dragon. It's an 80s movie with, I don't even know what the Timac is the main character's name. He's a martial arts guy, but the thing is that he's getting beat by Shonuff, the shogun of Harlem, and he's just getting beat, and he's getting beat badly where he's almost dying. And then he remembers that he is the man. He is the one. He has the glow. And I think that's what Justin has. Like, after the game, I think versus the Commanders, he's like, I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of all of this garbage. And he just has a more understanding of where guys are supposed to be, how his blockers are blocking. And so if he needs to know, okay, I got 3 seconds to get this ball out, or else Braxton Jones is going to give up some pressure, or else Sam Musford's going to give some pressure, whatever, I can bail out. Or I know my guy's going to be in the slot right there at this time. He's got more understanding, and he understands that he's fast, he's good, and he has confidence in himself and now in his players, and he has that glow that Bruce Leroy, as in the movie they called him, has. Mm-hmm. And that's that game on Sunday. The game before with the Patriots, awesome. But the game on Sunday versus the Dolphins were outmatched the Bears. They're much better offensively, much more stars. But you knew you wanted the Bears to get the ball back quickly because you know that Justin Fields is electric. He's understanding exactly how good he is. And confidence in the NFL goes a long way. He might not be throwing for 200 yards passing, but he knows there's nobody in that field that's faster than him. Not a single person on the Dolphins that is faster than him. And the confidence that he has, okay, if you pressure me, if you bring blitzes, I'm going to get free. Because he's been sacked 33 times this year, which I think leads to the NFL. He said, okay, if you're going to hit me this much and I haven't been hurt, I'm going to be fine. And I know that you can't beat me through the corner. And I know I can throw a ball on the run to Equanimeous St. Brown. If he catches or not is on him. But I know I got 100% talent and I got 100% confidence. And now Justin Fields has the glow, just like Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true, and I don't dispute that at all. I think it's a domino effect, though, of what the coaches have been able to do. They're saying that they've tailored it to Justin Fields, and before they were doing that, Justin wasn't as comfortable, deservedly so. I wouldn't be either in a system that I wasn't suited to run. But I mean, they made a change within 11 days, which is the blink of an eye during an NFL season. And they not only, though, did they help out Justin Fields, and this was the big thing that I'd noticed, they had all right, they evaluated every single player on that field and were like, okay, where are our weaknesses? Where are our strengths? What can we do to play to those strengths and hide those weaknesses? And they did that with, I feel like you're seeing a lot more bigger sets as far as personnel goes with more tight ends. You're getting a couple, you're getting running backs in the game. You're doing that 21 personnel set where you're getting 2 running backs in the game, even with Justin on the field. So really you've got 3 backs on the field, but that's for blocking purposes. That's to help out the offensive line. I feel like it's a team game. So, I mean, just tailoring something for one person, I don't think is doing what they did justice, because you have to tailor it to what everyone does well and kind of fit the puzzle pieces together and figure out what your best puzzle looks like. So I think that it's a domino effect that Justin is that's the cause, or the causation is the coaching staff, whereas what's the opposite? Correlation is Justin. Thank you. My science is not. I have taken a science class.
I did not think we were going to get to causation, correlation tonight. This is impressive.
Justin is the correlation, but the causation is the scheme itself and how they've been able to help out everyone around him so that he can be more comfortable. And I mean, Justin even talked about it after the Patriots game, where those design runs are where that's what he wanted. He wanted more control over when he was going to run and how much he was going to run, and not to get hit. He was like, I was tired of getting hit. So I'm really glad that he's like, I knew going into this game that I was going to run a lot more, and I liked that. And that has its own domino effect of him being comfortable. And then now that he understands everything that's going on around him, it's second nature, and he can start doing things off script. He can start being the one to command the offense a little bit more on the field, make the checks, check into something different, all of that kind of stuff. Why are you smiling at me like
because that? That was a lengthy breakdown of exactly. I think you're really enjoying how the Bears have done this. I think you appreciate it. That's what I was smiling at.
Let's also know that I'm a very selfish person, and I also just want to be like, I told you so. Because all I said
there it is.
In the very beginning of this season was just give it time. Everybody asked, how do you fix the Bears offense? How do you fix the Bears offense? It's not a sexy answer, but you got to give them time. You got to give them time to figure it out. And look at what they did. And they did it in half a season. I would have given them a whole season.
I just find it interesting, and I didn't set this conversation up exactly the way I wanted to. So that's on me pointing the thumb. But they have celebrated it, that they made these changes in the mini bye. And then there's been a pushback that there weren't that many changes. So it's kind of...
It's still the same concept, though. I think that's probably what he means.
Is that what he means?
That's still yes, the offense is still the offense, but now you're inserting these design runs for Justin, which allows you actually to run a lot more RPO and stuff like that, because defenses cannot afford to not account for Justin Fields as a runner now. And it makes selling and out on play action a lot easier, because defenses will sell out on that. knowing that anybody can run the ball, not just Justin, but the two backs that they have. Yeah,
I just want Luke to say, hey, look, it took me a second getting in here. I needed to actually see it with my own eyes and feel it and be there.
Yeah, he's a first-time play caller.
Yeah, and figure out exactly what I wanted to do with the quarterback. So I'm learning as I'm going. I don't know. I mean, Alan Williams today was, what's up with the defense? Are these guys terrible? Well, it's partly them and it's partly the coordinator. Like, he outed himself. He put himself in the fire with that comment. I'm like, don't do that. I don't want you to like put yourself, because we all know that the talent's just really subpar. At least, but that's what he said. I don't know.
And people are going to use that on sports talk radio. As a person that used to work on sports talk radio, that bite will be used over and over again, that he has self-doubt now. That's what's going to be the whole thing. Well, Alan Williams doesn't think that he's doing a good job as coordinator. You're going to take it to the nth degree. But this defense is as planned. You trade Khalil Mack off this team, you're going to get worse. You trade Robert Quinn off this team, you're going to get worse. And then you trade Roquan Smith, your best defensive player, off this team, you're going to get worse. I think by design, this team is bad on defense. They're supposed to be. There's no money on that side of the defense except for Eddie Jackson. I think it's fine. Yes, they're a sieve, but you want the Bears. That game the other day, you saw exactly what Bears fans should want. Justin Fields absolutely going off, looking like the elite quarterback he is. He is the offensive player of the week in the NFC, and they lose. That's a perfect combination for this year for the Bears. I know it's hard to hear, Bears fans, but it's the best thing that happened on Sunday. And you want the defense to continue to be bad.
You gave up resources on the defense so you could add some on offense. And then, I mean, like I said, I think the defense is the priority this offseason.
Yeah.
And I think that you draft a pass rusher in the first round and then like go free agency perhaps for offensive tackle, guard at this point, any offensive lineman at this point.
It is hard to pick a priority. I mean, yes, they have to address the defensive line, but yes, they need more offensive weapons. Yes, you need a more dynamic guy.
But you got money and picks to do it.
Right, sure. This is going to be, it's the ultimate opportunity.
But I hope they're not like Green Bay. How Green Bay knew they had a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers and never gave him help on the first round for offensive talent, for skill positions, ever. Yeah. Still haven't, except for Jordan Love, his eventual backup, which I don't even think that's going to happen. Next year, yes. Like, the priority this year and going forward is Justin Fields and getting him to be the best Justin Fields he can be. But they need to give him help on, if it's first-round wide receiver, the first-round tackle, whatever it is, next year they need to get that priority settled. But they have a bunch of money in cap space. They can go and sign a top-tier pass rusher if they need to next year. If they feel like, hey, it's time. The Vikings are the only team in front of us now. We can catch the Vikings if we had this, that, and the other. We have cap space and draft picks now, and we're ready to move. If Justin Fields continues on this trajectory, man, the sky's the limit, man.
I don't think we have to worry about what happened.
The quarterback they got the quarterback position solved.
What did you just say?
I said I don't think we have to worry about what happened in Green Bay. Like,
yeah. Okay, Packers.
I feel like the Packers didn't surround Aaron Rodgers with anything because Aaron Rodgers had proved to them over and over again he didn't need anything. Mm-hmm. And now that he's aging and there's things are not working as well, his offensive line is breaking down. Now he can't do everything himself. But he had a track record of being able to elevate, and that you don't have that with a young quarterback.
I mean, it's just a good thing that the defense is getting a head start right now because Jack Sandborn is emerging. Sandborn is getting praise. We've got Sandborn. Let's go Sandborn.
And for those people who know Sandborn, another Sandborn wrote the Chicago song. David Sandborn, not from here, though.
Good, solid musical references tonight from Herb.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes. Hey, reminder, Greenridge Farm is a Chicago local meat and cheese company. The best all-natural option you're going to find, and they'll be at the tailgate on Sunday, 8:30 to noon, Bears, Lions, corner of Roosevelt in Michigan. Greenridge Farm is supplying the food, and yes, it's straight delicious. Tailgating, happy hour, school lunches, whatever you need. Their meat sticks come in chicken, Black Forest beef. Thank you very much. We got the jalapeno cheddar, spicy chili. Delicious is the word, and natural and good for you. two brothers coming together to make an amazing company. Nothing more important than what we feed our family, ourselves, and our friends. So shout out to our friends at Green Ridge Farm. And yes, when you're going through Costco, they are in your refrigerated section. Look for Green Ridge Farm, purchase it, and come out to the tailgate on Sunday. Herb's going to be there.
So will.
You won't be there, Carmen, but that's okay.
I'll be in Lambeau.
Yeah, you'll be up there seeing the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers playing.
Mike
football.
McCarthy Bowl.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy Bowl.
Okay, can we? I guess. Just take a moment in time where I think I'm going to annoy one of our listeners right now. I just want to know
what
right now. You, Herb, wearing the Bears hat, Bears tee. Carmen, you're a little more professional right now because you cover the NFC North or Fox Sports. So I'm going to ask this to Herb. Do you want the Bears to win football games or lose football games?
I want them to lose the football games.
You want them to lose football games?
Yes, because I think having the better draft pick all throughout the draft is more important than winning games that the White Sox. The Bears are going to be 7-10, not make the playoffs. What does that do for you? Being a middling team, beating a mediocre team will leave you into NFL hell.
So when you're watching Bears Dolphins, and it's an incredible game,
yep.
And Justin Fields is breaking free. He's running for 61 yards. By the way, Luke Getsy but Luke Getsy mentioned that play should have been a 15-yard pass to Darnell Mooney. He actually got the play wrong in Getsy's mind, even though he was also saying he used the word holy cow, but it wasn't holy cow on the sidelines watching him run 61 yards. But are you saying that you're like, that's sweet and, oh no, don't win the game? Do you have all that going on?
I'm not actively rooting against the Bears of winning, but if they happen to lose a game, I despise the Detroit Lions, mostly because of Matthew Stafford and how he acted and how he one time tackled. I forgot who the cornerback was who got an interception on him, and he got a late hit on him, and he was like a real punk. And so ever since then, I've hated the Vikings the most, the Lions, and then I don't really hate the Packers because Aaron Rodgers was a dynamic talent, even though he's kind of a douche.
Go, Steven, open up your mic and yell at Herb. Go ahead.
Not happy.
Yeah, the pecking order there, you have the Packers is the one that you hate the least?
Yeah, because
what's the matter with you, Herb?
Because Aaron Rodgers is
a Bears hat.
Ultimately great quarterback, in which I think is the best quarterback. But I'll get back to that. If the Bears are playing the Lions this week, I want the Bears to win the game versus the Lions, and Justin Fields, of course, to play better. But my ranking is Justin Fields playing well. The Bears winning is way down on the bottom of my thing.
And so then if they lose, you're not upset after the game because you start thinking about the draft pick and you're good. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, what's winning this year? What does that do for anybody?
Well, you
could say that, hey, winning is good. It's a good habit for the team to have. They have a little bit more confidence. But for me, I take the draft pick. Getting the better player next year would be better for me, I think, in the long run for everyone.
That's you right there, by the way.
What?
Winning habits, playing well, developing. Isn't that am I not driving down Carmi Lane?
No, how so?
I thought did we not have this conversation?
No, wait, I had this conversation about Justin Fields where, winning does, you're not a contender this year. So but I'm not I said, coaches aren't wired like that. You can't tell them,
of course,
to tank.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So even though it looks like that's what the Indianapolis Colts are doing, but they fired their coach because he wasn't going to tank. So I don't know what happened.
And then they made a tanking for Jeff Saturday. Oof.
Well,
that's a tough go,
Jeff.
Man.
I like Jeff too. I just
good guy.
It's a whole other.
Enjoy yourself though.
Hey, it's good to have friends in high places. I mean,
get that back.
How do you think I got into this place right here at CHGO? You think if I wasn't friends with Kevin and Jake and hadn't been besties for my whole life that I would have gotten this gig?
But you're qualified for the job you got right now. Somebody isn't. Mr. Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
I'm kidding. I didn't know those guys at all. It was fully on my amazing talent. All right. Hey, my favorite way to get tickets to any sporting event, any concert, anything is through Game Time Tickets. And my favorite thing to do in the show, at least when this ad comes along, because I love checking it, is what tickets are going for. You guess in the moment right now, cheapest seat for Bears Lions is that if you use the Game Time app, which is the best value you can get on any ticket, what do you think you're paying to get into Bears Lions to sit in the end zone in section 352 for one ticket this coming Sunday? Anybody?
I say $150.
$150. Carmi?
$127.
127. Well, with the incredible value that you get using Game Time tickets, and download the Game Time app. 15 million people have done it. Concerts, Bears games, any other sporting event you want to go to. $132 is your price right now to get in.
Carmen would have won.
Yep.
I actually got a
Price is
lower on
Right.
screen right now.
Yeah,
We got it
Price
at
is Right rules.
116.
Price is Right rules. I would have won, I guess.
You've been going up seeing Drew Carey.
Yeah.
But that's like a life goal of mine.
It is.
I just want to get on the Price is Right.
I watch it every day, and I look at these contestants not doing the game right
You do not watch the Price.
every single day. 10 o'clock, I'm there. $1. If you're the last person to bid, you're $1 or $1 over
Every
the
time.
last person.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Literally, and
Every time.
that does not happen.
Some
It's-
people like, yeah,
Because they don't pick those people to go up there.
Oh,
I think I don't know how they figured that out, but you just reminded me. Way back in the day, when I was growing up, we used to watch Wheel of Fortune at dinner all the time. And
Yep, same.
My dad's super. So,
I also want to go on Wheel of Fortune. I just want to go on any game show.
What's that?
I just want to go on any game show. I also want to go on Wheel of Fortune.
I mean, let's go. I'd love to do a press your luck back in the day, but okay.
Peter Tamarkin, awesome.
But so,
Rest in peace.
my dad, very, very, just didn't pass down the skill set here, but very, very smart man. And so, and he'd solve those puzzles like nothing. We go out there, we're going to try out for Wheel of Fortune. This is it. Carmen family's we're getting on this Wheel of Fortune. Things are going to change around here. We're getting national acclaim. So he goes in there. You've got, 3 rows of people, and they're spinning the wheel. They're doing the whole thing, and everyone's cheering, going nuts at it. The whole thing. My dad is just sitting there with this like old school lawyer, just focused on that puzzle, 1,000%, just trying to answer it. And he's ripping off puzzles before he's crushing it. And then when they went to choose who's going to be on the Wheel of Fortune, it was everyone who was knowing the puzzle. We're not looking for the smart guy.
Looking for the entertainment.
We need the
energy. Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch this dude go over here and play a quiz show. So Freddie didn't get on. It was emotional for young me.
And I know, as you said, you want to get on anyone. I've been looking on, how to travel out to Burbank and get on The Price is Right. If you do one of those shows, either The Price is Right, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, you can't do any other of those shows
right?
for
So
they ask you, like, have you ever done any of these talk shows or game shows ever? And say if you haven't, you're ineligible.
I mean, would you sprint down the aisle and go nuts if you were on the
Oh
front?
my goodness.
Yeah.
I already got my shirt. Like, I'm gonna wear a shirt that says something like Drew Carey, Cleveland Rocks, something that's gonna get him ingratiated. Or the announcer, I think his name is George, have something on that so they can catch my eye. My sister went on what's that, the Wayne Brady game show.
Oh, Deal or No Deal?
Yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah, and
No, not Deal or Let's Make a Deal.
Let's Make a Deal.
There it is.
And she won like $3,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is an amazing.
Eventually, I'll get on there.
This is an amazing moment.
But I worked for CBS Radio for a long time, so I could not get on there. I don't have that problem anymore.
You do not have that problem anymore, and the fact that you go Price is Right every day at 10 o'clock, that's truly amazing. I'm impressed, Herb.
Call me Barney Stinson.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
Somebody got that.
You got a lot of strong references.
That's all I am. That's all I am. References and old crappy movies that no one's seen.
All right, let me. We're going to segue from there with our $5 super chat. Velus Jones pick never made sense to me. He was not a third-round talent, in my opinion. Keep in mind, the Seahawks drafted Lucas right after we picked Velus from our guy Brendan. Listen, it was a big swing. They were going for the high ceiling player, and I don't hate the philosophy, but when you miss on those, it's painful. And all signs right now are that the Bears missed. Maybe that'll change, but once you start to fall out of favor in the NFL, it is tough to turn that train around. He's got some significant work in front of him.
Well, especially because what he did at Tennessee was the return game. Like, he was the returner. He has how many thousands of yards at Tennessee in return yards, and would take a couple of them to the house he was good to take a couple to the house every season. So that was, and that adds to the confusion as to why he was taken in the third round, because if you were really taking him to be a returner, but then you weren't because that was your receiver taken, Meanwhile, the Packers got like Romeo Doubs in the 4th round, and you got, I don't know, there's a couple really good running backs that were taken after them, like Rashad White, my dude, Arizona State.
I was yelling. I was yelling. I was yelling for Romeo Doubs multiple times in that draft.
I think that people would.
And it's even more egregious because of the 2 draft picks you had before that with the defensive guys, when you were like, okay, we need linemen, we need offensive talent for Justin Fields, and then he picks Velus Jones, so gets extra focus because that's your offensive pick. That's your guy. That's your skill position guy in the 3rd round.
Right.
And so it's more scrutiny will go on to Ryan Poles, and deservedly so. I think as a rookie GM, he's made a lot of missteps, and I think these are natural as a person that's starting the job and learning on the job, but he's also overcome those missteps. And so, yeah, he missed on Velus Jones as of right now. And I didn't know if you should have taken him in the 3rd round or not because I wasn't into Tennessee football. But if all he is a kick/punt returner with some wiggle, it's a little early in my liking because I think what they took Tariq Cohen in the 4th or 5th round, that's more of the guy you should do. A gamble on what would be the 2nd day or 3rd day of the draft is a little bit more palatable for fans than the 3rd round where you're depending on the offensive player to actually perform.
Yeah, the things that I don't care about Velus, his age. I don't care that he's 25.
I know. Braggs, come on.
Yes.
No.
But things that I do.
25 years old is still not old.
But
I like the point that you brought up earlier about like I was expecting his learning curve to be less because he was a little bit more experienced, but I don't care that he's 25 years old. Like it's not like
I care that he put him to be a punt returner in the NFL when he had 18 punt returns in a 12-year college career. That's not good.
Dr. Velus Jones.
That kick return.
Yeah. And it's also when you overdraft somebody to that level, most people have him as a 4th and 5th round pick, and you're picking him in the 3rd, that's not great use of draft capital. Because if you really like the guy and you're trying to hit a home run, you're trading out of the pick then, and you're getting him later. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Well, and it puts a lot of undue pressure on him. Like it wasn't his fault he was drafted in the 3rd round.
When he got drafted, though, by the way, it was so adorable. He was crying, and Flus was crying. We had a great conversation, Coach. I am 1,000% rooting for Velus. As we all are.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like the pressure that's on him, I totally understand because if you're overdrafted as a player, then like that kind of seeps into your head, or it can at least. And where you feel an extra added pressure to perform
he shouldn't feel though he was overdrafted. He should be like, why wasn't I?
No, that's true. But I just feel like as people looking at the organization now, there's more pressure on him to perform because he was drafted a little bit higher than most people thought.
Yeah. All right. Let's segue to one of my favorite Bears. Let's see. Stephen D. Velus' age isn't an issue unless he's good and it's a short career. Listen, if you got 5 great years out of Velus, we would all be jumping up and down, right, Steven? Doesn't make a difference what your age is if you wash out of the league. Well, that's true. That is true. All right, so Cole Kmet is coming on. He is earned this, by the way. It has not been easy for Cole to get to this point, and now he's having success, and he's just he's very likable. He is an enjoyable Cole Kmet. So now that we're seeing him get in the end zone, we're getting to see the home run celebration. So I went up to Cole today. Here's our 2-minute conversation. We start with, where does the home run celebration come from? Can you talk to me about the home run celebration? Because I'm thinking top 5 NFL.
Really?
I think it's awesome.
Oh, I'm glad you think that. Well, I guess kind of a tribute to my baseball days, really. So kind of just comes naturally, and I think it's a solid one. Solid, to the point. Quick to the point, So.
Do you have anyone in mind that you're imitating?
Myself.
That was all day.
That's all day. Yeah.
How many bombs in high school did you hit? Can we get a number on that?
You can fact check. I think it was. I want to say it was 12 my senior year, and I think 8 my junior year. So I think I led the state my senior year, and I was state player of the year my senior year.
Just 20 bombs.
20 bombs. That's not bad.
No,
that's not bad.
I mean, that's big time.
Yeah.
Getsy loved that after, I guess your second touchdown, I think, that Claypool and everybody's running in the end zone to celebrate.
Yeah.
You got a smile on your face about it. Like, that shows a little camaraderie in the league.
No, that's team, man. I mean, I think in the league you kind of lose that a little bit with just so many guys from so many different places in and out all the time. And I think we got a close group here offensively, and so those bonds have been forming throughout the year, and so I think that just was natural from everybody.
He also loved that when you get the ball in your hand, you did like something else, something clicks in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna crack you.
No, that's a mentality, man. I think I think me and David kind of share that similar mentality when we get the ball in our hands, and we kind of like to set the tone for the offense in that way. So whenever we get the ball in our hands, and whether it's you get the ball at the line of scrimmage or 2 yards down the field, you got to make it happen and lower the shoulder, get some more yards.
Right. So likable.
I was so happy. They used him in so many. So not only did he get more production this last game, but I feel like it's because they were using him very creatively. Like you had that series, I think it was the first quarter, where he had the jet sweep, and then the very next play, because it didn't work out as well, like he took a direct snap.
Yep.
Like you're doing so many fun things with Cole, and he's a very smart player, and I love it.
T3P had a good point. It underlines what you're saying, Herb. Cole's a good example of giving up on players too early. A lot of Bears fans would have punted on Cole Kmet, which
Myself
is
included.
Yep.
And that might be an indictment, and should be, of you had Justin Fields and Cole Kmet under your watch, and Matt Nagy was like, what do I do with this greatness? Now you see Luke Getsy being creative with Cole Kmet. He's an athlete. I mean, doing a direct snap to a tight end is a very rare thing. Him and Travis Kelce are the only ones I can see in the NFL have done it. To have him actually break out, as I thought it was an overdraft of him in the second round. I thought they should have drafted his Notre Dame teammate, Chase Claypool, who they got now, at that spot, and still had Johnson available later on, Jalen Johnson available at 50 later on. But he's sounding like, and he's seeming like, as with Justin Fields, confidence is growing.
Yeah.
He could see himself, as the basketball players used to say, like, once I see it through the hoop, that confidence builds up. Now Cole Kmet's getting to the end zone. Now it's like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm smooth. And home run celebrations are coming because it's hard to get a touchdown. It's his third touchdown, and he's like, man, I've been in the league for however long, and touchdowns are hard, so I'm going to celebrate when I get in there.
Yeah, 2 in the game. I also think, there's, granted, the one in the end of the game was at the goal line, and that's usually where you do use multiple tight end sets. But like I was saying before, how you're adding more multiple tight end sets in there to help the offensive line out, blocking, all that kind of stuff. Well, then that also sets up the defense to think that Cole Kmet is just a blocker at that point, especially because that's what he's been doing. But then you use him in those multiple tight end situations, and you don't realize that he's actually releasing into a route, and then then he's open in the end zone. So I feel like that's kind of what, there was a multiple tight end set, I remember, at his second touchdown of the game in the fourth quarter. So that creates so many cool mismatches, and it's really hard to defend when you're trying to match up with these guys. So as a defense.
And rewinding back to what you're talking about, Justin Fields, and trying to make things easier on him, having a tight end that he's comfortable with.
Big target, comfortable with, can go off script, can, figure it out.
Or on script. First play of the game, we're going to roll you out. Here's a little 8-yard out to your tight end. Let's go. Let's get the offense going. All good signs, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, we envision Justin Fields to be like one of the best quarterbacks in the game when we're talking about Patrick Mahomes. And I know Steven loves Patrick Mahomes. That's his guy. And his guy, I already talked about, Travis Kelce. He has his best receiver is his tight end.
Tom Brady's best receiver was the tight end.
Gronk. And that's how you develop. That's how you become the better quarterback. You have your security blanket in your tight end. And if they have a nice rapport and a nice chemistry, that's going to be good going forward.
Well, and I think it took a little while too for Cole to develop into that pass catcher, because at Notre Dame he was blocking tight end, but now he's become that true Y tight end, which is so elusive in the NFL these days, because tight ends in the college ranks are you're either a blocker or you're basically a receiver.
Yep.
You're not asked to do both in the college ranks, so you have to develop that in the league, and I don't think we give tight ends enough grace to do that given what they're asked to do in college these days. So it took a little longer, I think, than most people would have liked, but then you also realize that last year's system probably wasn't the best or most competent.
And I think, in my case, I think Cole gets an unfair rap because of Adam Shaheen. Second-round draft pick as a tight end that failed as a Bear. And now we're like, we're drafting a second-round tight end again. And this guy in the first couple of years, like, this guy looks like Adam Shaheen. And now you see, like, the patience, the guy's finally breaking through.
That's a excellent point that we have Shaheen PTSD. We've got, and we had it at the quarterback position. I guess we have it all over. So,
I'm sorry, I'm bringing up some bad names.
Well, no.
Adam Shaheen.
Sam, you are not allowed to mention Adam Shaheen.
I'm sorry, Saint.
Who's you going? Gabe Karimi next?
Oh, golly. Stan Thomas, too?
Also, Brendan has also from what I've seen, the acclimation for tight ends in the NFL just simply isn't the same as it is for other positions. Yes, that's what I'm saying, too. Like, the tight ends are responsible for so much. They don't get enough love. They're an extension of the offensive line, so that's why I love them, too. But, like, they have to know protection schemes for the offensive line. Then they also have to know route combinations, what's happening in the receiving game. They're responsible for so much, and they have to sometimes switch like at the drop of a hat. Even when they get to the line, the quarterback could check into something completely different where they were in protection before and now they're going to release, or vice versa. And tight ends do not get enough love, and it does take a while, especially because they're very one-dimensional players in college. And to make a tight end into a two-dimensional player in the NFL takes a while. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to Jake Tongas, who got cut today.
Yeah.
Tight ends don't get enough love. Tough
Tight ends don't get enough love.
Tough world, man, the NFL. You're here, you're gone.
It's cutthroat business.
Not for long.
Yep. I was walking with guys, they were coming out of the locker room, and I'm like, you guys are in the NFL. How cool is that? And just one of them looks at me, he's like, you know what that stands for, right?
Not for long.
Yep.
No
Average
fun
career is 3 years.
But Cole Kmet right now, you know what he's got on? He's just chilling. He's got on his Shady Rays. Let's go, Shady Rays. If you don't understand why sunglasses are incredibly expensive, Shady Rays went out to change that. You do not have to break the bank for the quality sunglasses this fall, winter, or anytime. Our friends at Shady Rays, they have you covered. They are premium too. Polarized shades, world-class optical clarity, Carmen. They've got the durability going on too. They've got the styles. The best part though, the most insane protection program of all eyewear. This is what I love about them. Lost, broken. If you lose, you break your shades. Even if you do it on day one, they will send you a brand new pair. You drop them. You're living your dream on your vacation. You whatever. Say you're on a cruise, you lose them overboard. They're going to send you a new pair. So that is some big time reasons. Exclusively, by the way, for you who's watching tonight, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use the code CHGO, 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. You buy one, you get one free. You get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem only at shadyrays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades. I'm fired up to get my Shady Rays. All right. We have to tackle something that's a little bit confusing here, team. I don't know if anyone's heard of Wallethub. Have you heard of Wallethub before?
No, I haven't. I know where you're going with this, and I have not heard of Wallethub, nor do I think I want to.
Herb, you worked in, you've been in Chicago media for 20 years. You heard of Wallethub?
Never, ever.
All right. Well, Wallethub, I hadn't heard of them either, but they were making their way around Twitter, which is a dangerous place to be in these days. And
Literally.
they ranked the best sports cities team, and Chicago was not number 1.
Not even close.
Wasn't number 2. Wasn't number 8. Wasn't number 11. Wasn't even number 13, Seattle, Washington, who lost their NBA team. Talking about bear down, Chicago Bears, go Cubs, go. Let's go White Sox. And, 14th. Only the Bulls. Here come the Hawks.
Firstly, everybody knows
14th, Herb.
Even if you don't name them one, we're a top 5 sports city, maybe in the world, 100% in the United States.
Top 2, we're not 2.
Exactly. And so I'm just trying to be like what, 14th already. Wallethub is trash.
Trash.
Who's in the top 5?
So it's
Please tell the people who number one on this
Seattle's
list
in front of us. Lost the war.
So number one from Wallethub is Los Angeles, which is just they rank them 5th in football, 1st in basketball, 3rd in baseball, 1st in soccer, 24th in hockey. Boston Saint is number 2. 4th in
How did they get Boston right, but not?
I don't. Good question.
What is this based on?
So I can go through the criteria, but I got to tell you what's dragging us down is the Chicago Bears, according to Wallethub. We are 27th in football.
Out of 32 teams?
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the Bears still have a wait list for season tickets? Are we kidding?
They're the Bears. They
The
run this
franchise.
It's a bad job by Wallethub, but that's where they got the Bears. They've got the basketball team who had the greatest player to ever play and is still and sells more jerseys in literally every corner of earth. They have them 17th. Baseball is 6th, which is still low. You've got one of the most iconic franchises in the history of the world, and then you have the White Sox. No offense, Herb, but I mean let's call it what it is.
Hey, they're 3rd in sales right now.
Hey,
for that iconic hat.
They do a great, phenomenal job.
No hip hop artists wearing Cubs hats.
That's fair.
And if they would listen to my marketing strategy, which would be to make the Bears half the price of they are right now and promote that.
They're a terrible organization. I will not argue with that. They're one of the worst organizations ever.
There's just things I wouldn't say that, but there are things that they. Okay, I'm not. That's your land. I'm not gonna step on any toes here. But there are ways that they could help themselves. 12th in soccer, which seems high because I think the Fire and the Red Stars are not getting enough love around here. And 11th in hockey, which is low. We are a great hockey town.
Fantastic hockey town.
But LA,
that's what I can't get over. Like LA is a trash sports city. I worked in that market. I worked for the Dodgers, and after Clayton Kershaw would pitch 7 1/3 quality innings
out the door,
nobody would stand for him and clap as he was exiting the field. Yeah, that was what yeah.
So and I'm gonna leave Wallethub right there. But L.A., Boston, New York,
I got bones to pick with L.A.,
Pittsburgh, Dallas, Miami. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, Miami's not a good sports town at all.
Philadelphia, Denver, D.C., Atlanta. Again, you've got to be kidding me.
Yes.
San Francisco, Cincinnati. Get out. Get that.
I think Cincinnati.
They have a football team and a baseball team. That's it.
Yeah, they're really, but they love their Bearcats.
There's 3 people at Reds games,
and it's a terrible stadium too.
I can't.
And the Bengals have been bad forever.
You can't put Cincinnati above Chicago. That's
absolutely
insanity.
not.
Seattle and then Chicago. But hold on a second here. I just had. What were we just talking about that I had a great segue that I wanted to hit?
Los Angeles?
Oh, no. Here it is. I was at the Bulls game last night. I don't know if anybody saw my tweet here. But I'm at the Bulls game last night. And I don't want to get on you, Chicago amazing sports fans. But first, they honored veterans. And I get it. It's at every game. And at some point, it becomes a drop of overkill. But it's the veterans. You stand up for the veteran.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Take their hat off.
You take the hat off. You show respect. We're not asking a whole lot.
Yeah.
United Center last night, there was like 6 people that got up. And I was like, are you guys? And they said it multiple times. One more time for the veterans. And maybe at that point, realistic, maybe 500 people were standing. I'm like, what's going on here? What are you guys? This is ridiculous. And then 10 minutes later, they did one of their Bulls games. They got the Price is Right going on. They got high low. Is this next Bull? This next Bull is Joakim Noah. Is that higher or lower than Luol Deng? Higher. So the last one they did was Noah.
Okay.
He had Kirk was 12. Like Joakim Noah, higher or lower? Higher. They flip the card on the thing. There's Noah, and then they go right to him. And ladies and gentlemen, back at the United Center, Joakim Noah. They don't stand for Joakim Noah.
He's a Bulls legend.
Dude, that's a standing ovation.
He's also a really nice dude. He's so friendly and goofy and
they were cheering for him. It wasn't silent, but like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's go, Bulls fans.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, at the Thursday night game, at the Bears Thursday night game, they had Matt Forte, and I feel like the crowd erupted with him on the Jumbotron, as they should, but it was That's disappointing and surprising.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, what would be the equivalent Bear to Joakim at Soldier Field to be there and put him on the board and they don't stand up?
I'm trying to think of like a hardy, tough, grizzled guy that gave his all.
Lance
turned
Briggs?
into an
That's
all-star.
exactly what I was going to say.
Lance Briggs.
But Joe's like pretty beloved.
He's
I think
beloved.
we got to go. We got to go.
Was
up-
Lance not?
Yeah, but then
Lance is my favorite player.
People got things on him.
I think we got to go up.
things.
I think we got to go up the food chain a little bit. But at any rate, I was slightly.
Brian
I was
Urlacher.
disappointed.
Nah, that doesn't. He's an all-time great and a Hall of Famer. But if we're doing Joakim Noah, beloved character of the Bulls, like one of the best centers they've had. They ran offense through him when Derrick Rose was hurt, and he almost became
Peanut
like
Tillman?
he was an MVP candidate because he was so good that year.
Also playing for the guy in the last row, and Urlacher's kind of gone sideways. So there's that.
Peanut
part.
Tillman, that might
Yeah.
be.
Peanut, maybe.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Peanut.
good. A guy who might not be a Hall of Famer, but he's in that conversation. That gave his all, and yeah, the fans
everybody loves him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
It's
That's a
actually-
good call.
Love him.
Good call.
It's actually an interesting Bears question. Like, who, not the most talented, but the most heartfelt Chicago heart and soul Bear of all time, or in the last 20 years. Let's say. Let's keep it current.
I would go. I think Peanut's up there. Devin Hester.
Devin's too talented.
Yeah, I guess he'll be. Yeah, he's Hall of Fame. Like,
I mean,
right off the bat. I don't. Yeah.
heart and soul would have to drag him out of Soldier Field. I don't know. I got.
How about our own Corey Wooten?
It could be Woot, who
Ended Brett Favre's career. It's always great.
and you know Woot wanted to be on the show today, but he had stuff going on, so we understand Woot. Don't worry about it.
I know I've been naming a lot of names that can't be said, and being in CHGO, I don't know if I can say this name either, but Olin Kreutz.
Yeah, I mean
Olin Kreutz is heart and soul of the Bears. Like
Mike Brown is a great one.
Yeah, Mike. I like
Yeah.
Mike Brown too.
Yeah, it's definitely from that era. I guess pick your.
Jack Sandborn already.
He's headed there, Andrew.
Last is the good one, Tom Waddle. He is much beloved. I mean, he's great on the radio, and his career was pretty much heart and soul. Wasn't the most talented, but he left it on the field, and that's why fans loved him. That's why he's still on the radio right now, because he's a good host, firstly, and secondly, he wouldn't have been in that opportunity if he didn't give his all for the Bears there.
I would actually, going along this, I love Donnell Wolford. I can't believe J2K just named Donnell Wolford, who I used to hoop with back in the day. Great baseline jumper. Mongo might be the guy. Just considering everything that's going on and how much now we're going back to the 85 Bears, which is not originally where we're going here. But
This is predates.
let's stay
me.
away.
I know who Mongo is though.
I mean,
It predates. me,
76 was a man and a half, if you will. All right, as we wrap up the show here, were you a diehard Sports Center person at any point in your life?
though. Die Hard. I mean,
Like-
I watch Sports Center all the time.
Still,
I still have it all in the background a lot.
but okay. Herb.
Yeah, it was appointment television as a teenager for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if for people who are of the younger generation, you might not remember Fred Hickman as well, because
I didn't.
But Sports Center had direct competition with CNN. It was Fred Hickman, it was Vince Cellini, and they were on. I don't know if it wasn't as frequent. I mean, it was daily, but they didn't have as many shows. But if I think I'm remembering that right. But Fred Hickman was the man, and passed away. Saw it making its way around, and with a lot of great tributes to him in his 60s, and it hit my childhood, Herb, which I think you're feeling it too, right? High school, that whole scene.
And I'm sure tributes have gone around for people who do that, who are sports anchors around the nation, watching Fred and Nick, and understanding, and especially as an African American on TV doing sports, guys like Stuart Scott would follow in his footsteps and see, like, man, I can see it, I can be it, type of thing. And I'm sure Fred Hickman is that guy to many of African American and probably Caucasian and other races. A guy that you could see finally, okay, I can see my man there. I can do that now. So it's like an inspiration. And 67 is way too young to be leaving this earth. So rest in peace to him and his family. I hope they have some peace and comfort in this troubling times.
I love what you just named there. Hey, let me see you on national TV on my cable doing a dream gig.
Yep.
And the tributes to him were super touching. That Fred apparently was the nicest guy and in this business, everybody wants the same thing, so people are always watching their backs, and that's just a part of it, at least in many corners. And apparently, he wasn't like that at all. Who's sitting next to me, and how can I help you? And I mean, there was some really nice, heartfelt tributes out there. I'm like, all right, because I didn't know Fred Hickman. I didn't know that was the case. I just knew he was really good at his job. So it was just nice. It was good to see that in this particular industry, which. I mean, everyone at CHGO, we are just so unbelievably supportive of each other.
Absolutely.
Indeed. And it's a very, not rare thing, but it's more likely that you got a jerk on the air than a person that's actually trying to, as my guy Lawrence Holmes says, lift as you climb and trying to help the young people out because he's not worried about who's coming for him because he knows he has confidence to do his job, and he knows he'll always have a job because he's good at what he does, and so he can help the next guy and help the next girl to be at the level that he's at, and that's the best thing you can have.
We needed Loho on here tonight for some of your references. I came up short on some of your movie stuff. He would have been right there for you, so I apologize.
Oh, we've been 20 years together, so he doesn't get some of them, but for the most part, knock him out.
I feel like you guys are.
I'm a weird guy, so.
Hey,
Steven doesn't get half of my references, and I work with him every day. I even called him Steven Alexander. It's not his name.
After 8 months of working together, he got my last name wrong.
That's
brutal.
That's
brutal.
That's a whole baseball season, Herb.
Yeah, because we're both first name guys, double first name guys. Herb Lawrence, Steven Nicholas, Mark Carman.
There we go.
Mark Carman, are you part of the group too? 2 first name guys.
First name guys.
There's people you can't trust.
Vitali, you don't have this.
No, I don't. Vitali. Well, actually, Vitali, I think, is a first name in Russian.
There you go.
That's actually good.
Vitali Klitschko.
I just irritated someone somewhere with that one. My name is Vitali. I'm doing something big somewhere.
Klitschko.
But yeah, Vitali Klitschko.
There we go.
Vitali Klitschko.
I love these names coming in. Tony Paris, James Big Cat Williams. And 2 first names guys, right? Yes,
Gary
sir.
Ross.
Gary Ross, you stud, you. So, housekeeping. Herb, you on tomorrow?
We are not on. We do Sunday through Thursday shows just so we can have the podcast for Monday through Friday. So we are off until Sunday's tailgate. Then Sean and I will have a show. And Vinny's gone forever because he's going to Australia.
What's in Australia?
He's going on his honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
He got married in July, delayed until the season's over, and he's going for a month. He's traveling down in Australia and going everywhere in Australia. Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's going from the East Coast to the West Coast of Australia. Him and his bride.
I don't got no month off in my contract. I'll tell you that much. Good job, Vinny. Way to negotiate. That's a hell of a job right there. Congrats to Mr. Duber. Hey, thank you so much for watching tonight. And yes, tailgate Sunday, 8:30 to noon, corner of Roosevelt and Michigan. Our goal is that each tailgate is better than the next one, capped off by our Packers one coming up at the end of the season. But this is number 3, and it's just been awesome to see you out there. And I hope that we have a huge crowd here on Sunday.
What a movie call out, St. Omni, about Australia, Walkabout. Did you guys ever see that movie?
No.
Oh God, it was some weird indie movie and that we watched in high school, and it took place in Australia. That just unlocked a core memory. Thank you, Saint.
Rags, we love you and we miss you too. And should I go home and watch Walkabout?
No. It weirded me out as a teenager. Maybe it's really cool, but I don't know. I haven't had a desire to go watch it again.
You want an old Carmen movie recommendation, or you would never watch any old movies?
No, I watch old movies.
Do you watch old movies?
Yeah.
You know what? I watched within the week 3 Days of the Condor.
3 days of
3 Days of the Condor.
Yes, do it. Young Redford. We got a little.
Young Robert Redford.
I must say, I'm already sold.
Yeah.
I'm also already sold, probably for different reasons. But yeah,
it's fantastic. Anybody out there, Condor? It's a good run. Herb, I think you'll particularly like it. I don't know you super well, but I think in the realm of conspiracy and whatnot, I think you might enjoy it. It's really well done. And Faye Dunaway.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any rate.
We'll leave you with that.
We'll leave you with that. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. See you at the tailgate, hopefully. Braggs, we love you too. Say it one more time. And you, Laz. And we'll, Steven, appreciate you producing. Thank you to Cole Kmet for joining us out at House Hall. It was great to be with you at House Hall today. Let's do it again sometime.
Let's do it again sometime.
We'll see you next time.